Hello, everyone. I am DJ3, better known as 3 the Kimite, and you are watching the Mojo of Audio, where we discuss all things audio in the recording studio. Speaking of studios, I am in the Lion's Den recording studio here in beautiful Dallas, Georgia. I'd like to get right at it today and discuss a few opinions that I've been seeing out there on video of engineers that are experienced, that have been doing this for a while, and they have their ideas about gear. They have their ideas about level of professionalism, what to do and what not to do. And as I was watching these videos, I thought it uh, important that I throw my hat in the ring or my opinion in the ring about some of these subjects. So today, I want to talk about gear, specifically outboard gear, and very, very specifically microphone preamps, just in case you were curious and wanted a second opinion from all the other opinions that you may have heard out there. I do need to start this off by saying that I have over 3 decades of experience in the music business. While every opinion is just an opinion, there's a certain amount of education that I have behind mine. Having said that, let me just say this. Opinions are like sphinxters. Everybody has one. Some of them stink, and some of them smell like the morning dew in the morning. Morning dew in the morning. Well, you know what I mean. Um, but at the end of the day, they're all sphinxters, you know? Uh, so let's talk about mic preamps. The first thing I want to do is I want to start off positive by agreeing with some of the comments or editorials that I have heard lately. The preamps in your audio interface are not bad. Matter of fact, they're not trash or garbage. They're actually quite good. When compared to what mic pre's have been 15, 20 years ago, uh, everything from an M Audio to an Antelope mic pre is pretty spectacular. And the other thing that I want to agree about, while I'm being positive, is that you can record. Well, I don't know about you, but it is possible to record a beautiful, well produced song on your digital audio workstation in your computer with just the gear you have, your audio interface, your microphone, and hopefully your skill set and your ears. For sure, your ears. Now, having said all of that, I want you to know that I don't use traditional audio interfaces when I'm recording. I have. I used audio interfaces for years. I had a Digi 003. I had an M Audio. I've had a Sapphire Pro 56. I've had a Scarlett. There's some others out there that I've used. But when I started using, I've used a Mackie board, the preamps in a Mackie, the original 24 and 32.8 mixer that kind of changed the home studio recording thing on a big level. I had that in ADATs. So, I'm here to tell you that I've got a lot of experience with these pieces, and I have made a lot of good material using that standard consumer gear because it was quiet, it was accurate, it was transparent, it was just good stuff. Now, these days, I use an interface that's basically a digital audio or an audio to digital converter. And all that means is that I have boutique mic preamps on every channel. And I plug them into a converter, and it converts those analog signals into digital signals that my DAW, digital audio workstation inside of my computer, can actually read. Now, why do I do that? Or why did I start doing it? That's probably the big question. Is why did I start doing it? Now, I'm going to tell you why I started doing it. When I was using audio interfaces and doing my mixing, the biggest part of my mixing was to go on each individual channel and EQ up each channel. And some channels took a little bit more EQ than others, especially vocals. They took a lot of EQ. Now, imagine this. I am coming from a situation where for years, all I ever did was work in larger studios with 24 to 64 track reel to reel on MCI, Sony's, Otaris, with Neve consoles and SSLs, where you record a vocal and you may have to do a little filtering here and there, but it always sounds good. Well, let me fast forward to the time when I was using audio interfaces, and I said, well, this is part of the process. This is part of the process where you're going to have to EQ everything and make it sound exactly the way you want to. Well, the first time someone brought in a boutique device that wasn't my Mackie mixer, well, actually, at that time, I was probably using a Digi 003. But the first time someone bought in one of those and just plugged it straight up, I was like, oh, wow, I remember that sound. That's the sound that I used to get out of the studio. I think it was a Focusrite ISA 10 or something like that. That's the sound that I used to get out of the studio. Wow, that thing does that. Very cool. Now, they had outboard gear, plenty of outboard gear back when I was recording, but the truth is if you're in an SSL board or a Focusrite board or a Neve board or API, those high-end preamps are built right into the mixer console. So I wasn't using outboard mic pre's to capture my sound. I was just using what came stock inside of these $150,000, $500,000 mixing consoles. So the guy brings me a Focusrite and he records his vocals, and I'm way impressed. And all I know is I have to have one because it sounds so much better. But here's the big difference. I go and I mix that track, and lo and behold, I'm not doing half the EQing that I have been doing lately. Not half the EQing. I've been rolling off a little low end to get rid of the plosives. Maybe cutting a little 700 so it won't sound a little boxy. But usually not even that. I just, roll off the low end and just let it ride and push it up in the mix where it's supposed to go. And I'm like, what's different? The mic pre was different. The mic pre was different. I didn't have to work as hard. Not that I couldn't get that sound out of the pre's that are in my audio, that were in my audio interface, my DigiDesign 003. Oh, I could get that sound. But I spent time getting that sound. All depending on how far away my singer was from the microphone, which microphone I was using, how they sung, how soft, how loud they sung. My EQ settings were going to change. It wasn't going to be the same EQ setting every time. But here in the Focusrite, it didn't really seem to matter where the singer was positioned, or what kind of voice they had. It just all worked out. So after I had that experience, I started experiencing some other boutique mic pre's, and what I found out is that I could mix the same way that I would mix back in the old days when I was in the studio with the MCI boards and the Neve consoles and things of that nature. So fast forward to today, and I say, well, you could use the audio interface that you bought. Really, you could. However, if you don't know a lot about compression and a lot about mixing, a lot about EQ, and a lot about gluing the track together, it's probably going to be a little difficult. And so that's where your skill set comes in. Say, well, just get better. Which is easier said than done, right? I've spent a long time getting better. And the music industry is not waiting for you to get better. It needs you to be good right now. And so every time you get a tool that helps you sound better, it doesn't matter whether you knew how to work your EQ or whether the microphone did it for you, the mic preamp did it for you, or the chords that you used for the signal path got the sound for you. The fact of the matter is that you got the sound, and nobody cares at the end of the day. They don't care if you use Pro Tools or if you used Logic or if you used Reason or if you used Cubase. None of that stuff matters. They just want to know that it sounds fabulous at the end of the day. So, I'm just going to say, I agree with everybody. You can take your current audio interface, your M Audio single channel, and you can do wonders with it and cut you a hit record. But if you want to compete with me, I strongly advise that you go get at least one mic preamp that sounds fabulous. Save your money and go get it. It doesn't have to be the most expensive one. It just needs to be one that sounds the way you need it to sound. Because different mic pre's have different sounds. And we'll discuss that on another Mojo of Audio episode. But for right now, I just want to say, there's nothing wrong with getting an external mic pre. And I strongly advise you to use one if you're going to roll with the big boys on a regular basis. Look, this has been the Mojo of Audio. Once again, I am DJ3, better known as 3 the Kimite. And I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, I hope you hit the subscribe button. I certainly want you to hit the like button. And I also want to know what you thought about my opinion. All opinions here are welcome. I just want everybody to be nice to everybody else. In the meantime, I hope you have a great day, and we'll be out looking for the Mojo